If you guys notice, I have some new software I'm using. I'm still working it out. So this is going to be a bit of a practice session for me, kind of getting used to this and broadcasting. So I have some special treats for you guys today. I know it's not quite holiday season yet, but Christmas comes early. I'm going to be showing you guys an episode which is privated. This is an episode that is not available for you to watch, but I'm going to show this for the first time to a lot of people who have been watching recently. This is something definitely that you have not seen. This is some of the original work that we did in the Logic Church stream, and I'm super excited to share this with you guys, actually. This is going to be one with your Lord and Savior, one of my favorite YouTubers. He hasn't been around very often these days, but it's always nice to reminisce. And then, of course, my most popular video, my most popular stream, which has over 1,000 views. I'm going to be showing that one, which includes Gary, a.k.a. Inmendham. And I'm super excited to show that as well. And then we're going to get into actually the later part of the last stream that we did, the last official Logic Church. And I think that was really great, and I think that is really going to show what the stream is going to become and sort of picture it, the future of Logic Church for you guys, so that you can get a good idea of where the stream is going and see some of the guests that are going to be participating in future episodes. And if you guys are into this, if you guys like what's going on here, please let me know. I would love to include some other people in this as well if you guys enjoy the stream. And this is sort of an unplanned thing. This is me just sort of practicing with my stuff and also giving a little treat. Giving a little treat, you know, a little trick-or-treat. It's not quite Halloween yet, but here's a little trick-or-treat for you guys in regard to those who have supported the stream and have kept it going this far. So here we go. I'm going to get started here. And, yeah, let's get into this. I'm super excited to get into this. So let's do it.
That it actually sounds like it sounds like it's more work, more pointless work than actually just doing the proper mathematics without whatever this modular shit is. It actually sounds like a confounding factor in your calculations. I just feel
Modulus
like you could have gotten to it like 14 times faster without this modular bullshit. It's almost like a hindrance.
Well, Modulus is useful for computer science because a lot of the time, for instance, with integers, you don't have a floating point, so it will always just round it to a whole number. So as a result, when you do a lot of mathematical things, you end up with like just whole number. It truncates. It doesn't round. So instead of like 7.9, it's always just going to be 7. It will never become 8, and you need to understand that if you're doing programming. It's very important, actually, when you do a lot of like mathematics related to computer science type stuff.
On the abstract math side of things, it's actually the remainder which is important. And you form groups and understand group theory, which has connections with physics and pretty much...
Oh. I just thought I'd say something now to apologize and add a little perspective to my view. Yes, all serial killers
behind evil today.
all serial killers are introverts, but if it weren't for introverts,
somebody's trying to kill you.
Civilization would fall.
I mean, there's a guy behind you.
This modular bullshit, I mean, that is introvert territory 101, and like keeping the computers and shit running and everything going smooth, that takes the introverts of the world, the Oompa Loompas of the human race, if you will.
In science. I thought I'd plug one for science on that guy. Sorry. Science.
Did I drive him insane?
Yes. Now he only has conversations with himself.
Oh, I think they might be complaining I didn't switch off my mic. Talking to myself. Is that a reference to me talking to myself?
No. No.
Although we could understand why you didn't understand the comment as you were talking to yourself like a lunatic.
I didn't say nothing. It was me. No.
Yeah. Sorry. Now, the alcohol slightly confused me in this instance. Yes, in Modulus, it's only the remainder that matters. And I was thinking of it slightly backwards, so I had reversed the operation. It would be like if you're like 12 divided by 3. I was like, oh, what's 3 divided by 12? And I'm like, this is difficult.
Oh, hey, hi, Flo Day. Back to the
I didn't want to speak. I didn't want to. I knew that, but I didn't. In computing, you do use the function, like as you said, though, and they're like two sides of the same coin, ostensibly. You know, when you do modular arithmetic, you get two parts to the answer. You get how many times it went in the part, and in computer science, as you said, you use the former, I think.
Yeah. Well, what you usually do is you want to get the remainder, and you want to get the number of times it goes in order, specifically with hash functions. When you're coming up with hash keys, what I had mixed up was, or even if you were trying to just get, like, say the ones position or the tens position, like the the digit in the ones positions, tens positions. Hundreds position, you use modulus, and the remainder is what you get, but you use the division to get rid of, to basically shift the entire digit over so that you can get like one digit at a time. So I just confused myself on the division versus the modulus. It's been a while since I've been doing that.
Let me poke Rizzle here. I've just realised one of his tactics is to never finish. Yeah, he says something.
Hey, I finished prematurely.
Black, really white, and we all chirp in and say, "Hey, what the fuck? That's black is
yes, I am well aware of your digression."
I told you that speech disruption thing is the greatest thing ever. It should be like made into a party game.
I'm sorry, what were we discussing?
Have you guys noticed? Have you guys noticed that the more intelligent people we have in the room, the less, like, arguing there is because everybody just automatically understands?
I'm sorry, could you repeat every word of that?
I'm sorry I missed all that.
I said, have you noticed how if there's a lot of people who are on the same wavelength, intelligence-wise, that there's less arguing and less defensive taking because people aren't attacking each other?
Well, not only that, when somebody is wrong, they generally actually give ground. Like, it was one of those situations where I'm like, I think I actually forgot what modulus was, and then I just looked it up and plugged in a couple things into the calculator on the Google, and I was like, oh shit, I totally mixed that up, because it's one of those things where
need to do is invite a really stupid person.
It brought tears to my eyes.
He's got his speech disruptor thing on, which is trying to mess with him, and he's trying to overcome this with willpower.
God, I'm going to do my video. from now on.
Oh man. That is one of the funnier things I've seen in a while. You should do the competition with that on.
You a feminist.
Yes, you can.
They will be able to understand my slow speaking.
Maybe you and Gary should both have those things on when you're trying to compete with each other.
Yes.
Very.
I agree with a few points you made.
He almost took
However, you might be in the membrane.
Right on.
Oh man, that is amazing.
Show me some titties already.
What the hell is he singing? What is happening? I'm so confused.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh. We recorded it?
I think he's like trying to pretend he has a handicap.
Reduce this as your. God damn it. My stride. It normally makes gibberish, but I am able to speak non-gibberish, but in doing so, it slows down what I'm saying by about 12%.
I don't know if my face hurts. All I know is my face hurts now from laughing.
Well, see, the thing is,
Oh man. Hey, you know, you could use that when you're talking to somebody who's like dumber than you, and you're like, oh, I can see that this. I'm gonna have to handicap myself in order to deal with this. You're like, hold on.
you are stupid. Well, yeah, the thing is, it works by causing a specific interference pattern in your brain because you're speaking at the same rate as your equipment, offset by a certain amount. So my brain automatically compensates by lengthening each word so that it no longer arrives at my brain simultaneously with its counterpart.
Have you seen that, Rizzle? I think it's called sine wave speech.
No, High Day 71. I have never heard of this. See what happens when I try to speak any faster than this. Just like that British motherfucker asking questions.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, Rizzle, like you'll totally be able to talk to dumber people if you have that thing on. You can still hear fine, but it'll slow your speech down so they can understand you.
Hey, Rizzle, report yourself talking to somebody on the street, interviewing them. I want to interview
Social justice warriors. I am here to teach you some logic. Contradictory things cannot exist in this reality.
You can totally convince them that you're like what do they call it now? Like special needs or like special education or like you're mentally handicapped. And then they will be like they'll feel bad, right? And so they won't be. They'll be like, oh, this is a guy we gotta protect.
Never feel bad. You fucking panty waste.
Oh man.
Put him in the background and then start rapping.
This is actually very good exercise for your lungs.
I agree. I'm laughing so hard. It's like an ab workout for me.
Yeah, grass officer is trying to survive here.
Deep in the jeans she's wearing, hooked and I can't stop staring. Oh baby, I wanna get with ya and take your picture. My homeboys tried to warn me that but you got makes me so horny.
Good.
How'd you like that for a rap?
I never got tired of laughing, but we're getting there.
I
He's like, whoa.
wonder if I can give myself a massive stroke.
Aneurysm.
Oh, goodness.
Man, if you put up videos like that, people would just think that he's like, oh, it's like the double rainbow guy.
It's not really happening. It's the philosophy medicine.
Download this app on your phone. Idiotizer.
Fuck the phone. Fuck the phone, fuck the phone, fuck the phone.
I already tried that. It avoided the...
Well, it works better for girls, but whatever.
Oh, man, I should make a video like that. Man, it knocked all the tar out my lungs.
Oh no, that means you must smoke more, right? Cigar.
I didn't know I could get tired of laughing. Whoa.
Oh god, I don't even know how it actually
That
smells.
was-
It's just like molasses. Oh. Everybody should get that. Everybody should talk like that from now on. I decree that. Oh, I would love to see Gary do that.
Yeah. Idiot slowed down trivia.
Your entire life.
Oh, that would make this contest so fun if me and Gary both had that on and we had to
Be hilarious.
It would slow him down during one of his tirades.
Definitely.
Oh.
Imagine him trying to like yell at somebody while that was going on. That would just be comedy gold.
Try saying something Gary would say yelling.
Oh,
Oh man, I'm like all of my chest muscles are tired from that. It's like singing when you've never sung before. You know, you got to work your way into that. It takes a lot of force to talk. I'm not even sure that people can overcome it. Cody was totally lying when he said he could.
I had that app on while I was talking, and it was messing with my brain.
Okay, I'll say I believe you.
I don't know. The thing is, to me, it's a lot like speaking through a microphone, and I did a lot of Toastmasters stuff, and when you first talk through a microphone, I was just like basically freezing like an idiot, and then after like a couple years of practice, I eventually just learned to ignore that.
It feeds it back into your brain really loud. I guess I could turn it down, but that would be cheating, and I wouldn't be overcoming it with my sheer power of mind.
Is it an app you've downloaded?
Yeah.
What is it called?
Idiotizer. Idiot, followed by IZER. Free. You don't want to go paying for that shit.
Oh.
Yeah. Why would you pay for an app? Jeez. Let's get real. Come on.
I paid over $7,000 for an app. It was some great stuff.
I could go for some like fried rice right now. Fried rice. You guys ever had good fried rice before?
Egg fried rice.
I'm poor, Andrew, but I'm not that poor.
I was just going to say, rice is really cheap. Eggs are really cheap. I'm pretty sure you can make this happen.
You know, eggs are surprisingly good for you. They're probably like the best food you can possibly eat. They get a bad rap.
They're like magic.
They also give me magic farts that entertain me the next day, so I mean, they're just great.
Well, when I first started like doing the moving job again, I was like, at first I was a little bit sore, and then I just started like eating eggs plus my normal meals, and then I was like, oh, now all of a sudden I have energy and I feel great again. So I really advocate eating eggs. It will make your life better, or it will make you die.
I recommend just eating food for starters, though. You know.
That's pretty solid advice.
Yeah.
We should make sure we
Dr. Logic.
cover that.
You shouldn't eat non-food items.
Food to survive.
Drinking's pretty good too.
Yeah, drinking water. Drink water.
Yeah.
Well,
Booze.
More
You can-
problems.
More water, more problems. What?
Yeah, I only.
It's that whole context thing. It's like,
You know, I don't think that there's these fluoride truthers, and they're like, oh, the fluoride is bad. And, you know, at first they just sound like any nuts, but when you really think about it, fluoride, come on, the government really gives a shit about our teeth so much that they actually put fluoride in all the water. And then there's my organic chemistry teacher. She's like, oh, I don't like to handle that because it contains fluorine attached to these molecules, and, you know, halides can accumulate in your system, and that would be bad, and that would be fluoride. And then there's the growing number of socially retarded people just acting like total mouth-breathing, drooling morons, even more to an extent than I'm accustomed to, which is pretty stupid. See, maybe the fluoride's not a big thing. There's no fluoride in Wichita. I grew up in Wichita. My teeth, they are pretty fine for that. So, you know, didn't need any fluoride to make these giant and indestructible bastards. And there's no social justice. None whatsoever. There is a lot of
so
social
what we need to
justice.
do is like,
One of the first cities to use fluoride. Go on, what?
I was gonna say what we need to do is like cross-reference like the fluoridation of water and like the social justice movements and see like how much of a correlation there is.
I really do wonder.
It's something that would be worth investigating.
I will leave that task to you, O Rizzle.
I already elected
Oh,
you.
you can at least make an entertaining video.
I recommend, let's see, brass officer to do it. Or she can buy her way out of it with titties.
Whoa.
Hey, women love choices. I'm giving her a choice. I'm not saying you have to do this, leading the charge to compile the data of the fluoridation and the social justice outbreaks. You don't have to do that. You could do this other simple option. That's all I'm saying.
So what are the choices?
What I just said with the fluoridation, compiling whatever, or titties.
Okay, what are the choices?
You're like, what? What did you say?
The titties or?
You
A
have
video
to
comparing cross. I'll let him explain.
He's
What
like,
you have to do is
let him say it.
get all of the data concerning the dates that cities across the nation began fluoridation, and then compile that against outbreakings of social justice, roughly some teen number of years later when they become teenagers, these fluoridated people. See if there is a correlation between fluoridation and social justice outbreaks, is the long and the short of it. Or the tip.
That on. You want me to see if there's a correlation between when they introduce fluoride to our system, to our water system, and when things started getting crazy? Or when social justice warriors started to come into play? Which is really, because I never heard of social justice warriors before YouTube days. So that's what you're talking about, this sort of the social justice warriors, and if they were produced by fluoride.
It's a crazy.
Well, here's the thing that you're going to have
I'll
to do.
look it up for you.
Here's
make
what
some peer review. Pardon me?
What we have to do is this. We have to understand that it's going to be like 15 to 20 years after the fluoridation was introduced, because one of the assumptions I operate upon is that it is a lifelong exposure, like from just after infancy onto adulthood that the fluoride exposure happens. So we might not have to look for like old social justice warriors who were alive at the time of the fluoridation, because their brains had already formed to an extent and weren't as corrupted by it. So first, find out all of the data on when people started fluoridating. Then look in the vicinity of 15 to 20 years later to start looking for outbreaks of social justice. One of the parts of your duties, indeed, is to find out the mean date, the mean length between fluoridation and social justice outbreak. Give us an idea of the period over which the fluoride is administered that it actually has an effect, because it might not be from infancy on. It might be a certain key number of years. However, I digress. Your mission is clear.
If you accept it, it will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
I'll check that out. You know, I have a system that takes the fluoride out of my water.
I drink distilled water. Mama Wallace's boy didn't raise no fools.
Plus, I think here in Costa Rica, we don't have a proper septic system here, so I don't think they actually douse our water here with fluoride. In fact, we don't even have, like, the shit that goes into my toilet goes into my backyard. I have a leach field, so there isn't a sewer system here as such. There's no place that the shit goes other than the ground.
I didn't know we...
I had an old Costa Rican guy that took the back of my head and shoved it into some brown dirt and said, "Look, this is where gringo shit is."
I did not know that we could Google Hangout with people who lived in the 1840s. I cannot believe Google has made.
Well, it's the Google time travel app, so.
I know, you know what? I think that there's a lot of things that created social warriors, and I don't think that it necessarily has to do with fluoride in the water.
Well,
not necessarily.
I also have my alternate theories, and all of them converge upon a series of factors. For instance, premature birth. I've gone over this when the paracingulate sulcus isn't fully formed if you're prematurely born, and it helps you distinguish from imagination and reality. That in combination with a sheltered environment that discourages physical activity, because they all seem to have severely deconditioned bodies, right? And, never any physical activity. All of these factors, lack of physical activity leading to adrenergic toxicosis, premature birth leading to inability to distinguish between reality and fiction. The culture that they live in, I'm sorry, go on. You?
Hey, Ray. Hey, Ray. I think it's kind of odd that my daughter and I and my son are all three allergic to fluoride. Therefore, we had to get it filtered, and we had to get the natural toothpaste.
How did you find out? How did you find out that you were allergic to it?
You puke. You puke a lot. You puke. Anytime it's around, and when you drink water that's in it, sometimes you don't puke right away. It's the amount of water you might drink, and then you'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to puke. And then you're like, oh yeah, I was drinking water. That water must have fluoride in it. So, right. But we all turned out above average IQ and not followers and several other things that might support his theory.
That is one thing. They have found in rodents that fluoride makes mice more, complacent, a little less aggressive, less easily disturbed. And I mean, sure would be a great way to keep everybody docile and fat and stupid.
That totally explains my IQ of 76 and cultist mentality.
Of course, when I shower, I fill my mouth with toothpaste first so they can soak it. But I don't swallow any of it, it just reverses the acid decay damage that occurred over the previous day.
I imagine he's literally like, he just like squirts it in his mouth and is kind of like, and then just like goes like, and the water just goes in his mouth, and then he's just like, and that's it. The entire process.
No,
Except I know that he's paranoid about the brushing part.
And when I floss my teeth, no plaque comes out because my toothpaste has triclosan, which kills the bacteria if they're sufficiently soaked and jostled, which they are.
The jostling is an essential part of the process.
Yeah.
You guys, they need to change the MGTOW acronym to men going their own wank. Oh my gosh, the chat is so funny. Instead of men going their own way, because they're single, they're not getting married, going their own.
I just didn't hear. I didn't hear what you said. Like men going their own something other than way at the end.
Okay, never mind then. Now I'm too embarrassed to tell the joke. I'll type it in the chat. Okay.
Okay. I just missed the last part. Okay.
So you speak
I got it.
Grasshoppers, right?
What? What's that?
Grasshopper, you speak Spanish?
I don't speak fluent, beautiful Spanish, no, but I speak enough. I use a lot of body language, actually.
That is actually an incredibly important part of communication.
Yeah, it's amazing how much I can communicate with, like, everything physically. But I do have my words. No, it has nothing to do with that. Look, I could just read that from, hey, look at your, there's lots to read. So it's not about.
All right, you guys. I think it's time to move on to the next episode. This next episode is one with Gary Inmendham, and I'm super excited to show this one to you guys. So let's get on our way here.
17. Okay. Does anybody want to leave so we can
I actually
mess
need to
with? Oh, okay. Okay. Athena, you were awesome. Thank you for coming to Logic Church.
Yeah, I'm still going to be listening, but yeah.
Okay, Athena, we hope to see you again. You were awesome.
Yeah, I'll still be there, but listening.
Okay, take it easy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then we'll let this guy in. I have a ton of questions. We can go forever, but I thought it would be really funny to have a 1v1 logic battle here.
See logic.
Logic battle. Dun dun dun.
I just thought it was like really interesting what you said about kind of like helping other people or being useful, because like that's kind of one of the things that is a major driving force in my life. I mean, even tonight, I'm going to help my my boss, who's also like a great guy and someone that I enjoy being around. I'm gonna go help him like hang drywall, but it's like I'm not getting anything really out of it except the opportunity to practice hanging drywall, I suppose.
Yeah, but like I said, I personally do find that useful. You know what I'm saying? Because a job well done kind of thing. It's a controllable environment. It's kind of a good place to practice your humanity because it's actually something you can control. Where most of life it's hard to control. It's hard to help the homeless, right? Because everything you do for them, they'll probably turn it into crap.
That's a good point. Like, it's kind of like a bad investment, but still, like, part of me feels bad. So.
Yeah, well, I guess if there was a way to hang drywall for the homeless, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Because then you could do something controllable and guaranteed, and they couldn't somehow piss or shit it into crap.
So it seems like what you're saying is like in this instance, it's like it sounds like what you're saying is it's more useful to like kind of go a little bit small and like focus on like people in your life instead of trying to like change everything like big picture all at once.
No, I'm all for it. If you got a big picture plan, if you can cook that recipe, go for it. If you can shove it in your oven, turn up to 500 degrees and make it happen, do it.
Oh, and Gary, Anthony, my G-man, Anthony, he basically said he was too afraid to talk with you, so. So he cowered it out.
Yeah.
He's too afraid to face the
reputation alone.
Flawless victory.
I destroy them with my reputation.
Fatality.
It just gets easier and easier. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let's just move on. So if everyone, oh no, forget that. So laziness as a reason for social problems. This is actually, believe it or not, I didn't really think about this before until you did that response video to me, Gary, where I'm really starting to think now laziness is a lot big of a problem, a much bigger problem than cognitive dissonance, I think. Laziness.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not even that people are generically lazy. It's like, obviously, just think how much energy is spent on basketball courts right now by the urban crowd, right? Because of the golden prize of being a superhero. So I'm just saying there's a huge amount of investment being made in absolute nonsense. So it's obviously not just that they're lazy. It's just that they're obviously motivated to do something and just crack shit insane instead of something that makes sense.
Okay, so I coerced Anthony into coming in. He's going to come in.
Very good.
He said, "Okay, fine." So here he comes. You should maybe Jaws would work. Da 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 da.
Helicopters are coming.
What was that?
The logic version of Jaws.
The Jesus fog can take us all.
All hail Jesus.
Jesus.
Let us pray. The Lord be with you, and also with you.
The poor will be with you always.
Yes. Yes.
The golden words.
Yes.
Hi guys.
Hey Anthony.
How's it going?
The Holy Spirit be with you, my friend.
Assalamu alaikum.
May Jesus be with you.
Oh man, that's cool. He looks like the poltergeist.
Well, yeah, it looks like something particulated. But anyway, yeah, you can say.
Yeah, that's
with
the
that.
whole idea.
So yeah, Jesus isn't working on your camera. Anyway, so I have this theory that religion is just made up. You know, that like thousands of years ago, people didn't have a good explanation for things, so they just basically made up this whole story, and there was no superpowers, and it doesn't even make any sense anyway, because if you could cure, if the disciples could cure disease, if they were actually given magic powers, why would they betray Jesus? Because they would have confirmation that God exists, right? They saw him walk on water, they saw him do the fishes thing, they have superpowers, and yet they betray God right in God's face. They basically just say to God, screw you, I'm going home.
I have a humorous take on that particular scenario. It's nothing that I can like prove or anything. It's just a personal interpretation because I like to like make things funny. Okay, what if Judas, you know, the one who betrayed Jesus, was under the assumption that Jesus was just going to kick their asses because he's supposed to be God. But then like when he didn't kick everyone's ass, it's like, dude, I sold you out for silver. I thought it was just easy money to take. I thought you were going to show up and beat all their asses. I didn't know you were going to let them take you and kill you. You know, I think he was
but this is the story of Judas, the one to explore in terms of the whole psychology of the religion, because Judas is made out to be this evil character. Let's understand.
Well,
why is Judas evil? I never understood that.
Yeah,
well, let me just finish one little point. Judas gave up everything to follow Jesus Christ, and then he confronted Jesus Christ on an ethics issue, right? I mean, Judas didn't confront him on nothing. He confronted him on something where you're basically, hey, Jesus, you're wasting $400 of good oil there on your feet. Aren't we supposed to be using these resources we've been begging people for these good purposes, not to have your feet massaged by a hooker?
Wow, what a monster.
Well, I'm just saying, Jesus' answer was, the poor will be with you always. Now, isn't that kind of a... If I gave up everything to follow somebody and his answer to me was, well, the poor will be with you always, I would sort of not end the agenda anymore. I thought the whole agenda was so the poor wouldn't be with us always. I thought that's what I was fighting against, was the poor being with us always.
I feel like I'm shadowboxing myself from last week. But
you're like, oh, this guy. Wow.
Yeah, I really want to like discuss the topic of religion because it's a moot point as far as like.
But dude, you're all about that. You gotta discuss.
Whoa! I ain't based my whole life on that. I had. I tried to sabotage myself in regards.
So it's like a hobby. It's just a hobby.
It's not even like a hobby. It's more like something I was picked to do.
Yeah, okay, it's like a yarmulke. Okay, there's a guy who comes into my room, right, who's Jewish, and he wears a yarmulke, but he's obviously not really Jewish. I mean, you know what I mean, religiously Jewish. He's just Jewish. So yeah, I mean, maybe you're Christian because it's cool to be Christian, but yeah, maybe you don't take it too seriously. Maybe you don't take it too seriously.
It's not that I don't take it serious or anything like that. I mean, as far as using the teachings of the Bible to substantiate my beliefs, to act in the manner that I believe that Christ would want me to, is mainly like me regarding him as like a warning or a GPS, just kind of navigating my way through the chaotic world. And that just is what works for me. And if that's not something for you, then that's cool. But as far as me having a limitation from believing that goes, it's not really reasonable. I can study and learn and accept and embrace new and interesting ideas and still at the same time have my core values. That's why I said I don't want to argue.
Well, I know, but I could concede that point if you were just like a golden rulist or something, or you said, look, there's a couple of themes in Christianity that I really like, and so just accept the themes and don't think the voodoo that's tied to it, because obviously the voodoo that's tied to it is being used to hurt a lot of people. I mean, Christians are beating up on homosexuals and beating up on people.
Right, good point. Yeah, it makes violence.
Those are very valid points, but if I can just say something.
I hate wearing a Nazi uniform, for the fun of it. And it's just, that's just kind of rude. So I'm just saying, I can't, sometimes it's hard for me to separate Christian from Christian. You know what I mean?
All right, I understand that. It's kind of like how there's black people and then there's niggas. It's kind of like They're both kind of fundamentally the same, but one is like, I'm not going to act like the things on TV. I'm going to, assimilate with culture to be successful. And then the other one's like, I'm going to be a rapper.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's just like...
Yeah, I don't really want to get into it.
Oh no, don't worry about me. I'm good. My baby's crying. I'll be back.
Yeah, I'm not too cool with derivations on the N-word. But anyway, it doesn't matter. But I get your point.
So Anthony, does God have GPS, or does he just know where to go? Does he have GPS? Do you know this? Do you know that one?
Man, are you bullying me again?
What do you think?
You're asking me trivial questions in regards to a subject, and neither one of us are going to come to a consensus on. You're wasting your time.
You're right. You're right. I wasted my time in the name of humor. I'm so sorry.
I mean, if you want to be humorous, I can joke with you because my
go ahead.
My faith does not.
No, but wait, I don't want to participate in a bunch of jokes about God because I'm just saying that this is a very serious, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Okay, this is how religion has retarded the human race, and so I don't take.
Whoa.
Oh, okay.
But part of religion, their participation in the human race, they should retarded people. Basically, this is how religion works, in my opinion. Anybody can use anything to justify anything at their convenience for whatever selfish agenda they have chosen to embark on. And there are people who selfishly abuse the information and teachings in the Bible to manipulate people, to excuse themselves from, disrespectful behavior, to justify hatred. And when you really study the Bible, it makes you want to backhand all those people who do those things. It's like, wait a minute. Where does it say that you can hate? Is there a commandment that says thou can hate?
Yeah, there's a big pile of, yes, there is a big pile.
Is wrong.
There's a big pile of that in religion.
I understand that, and it pisses me off.
By God's own words, kill the women and children.
I understand that, and here's another thing a lot of people.
The little girls.
If you commit any act of evil and you say that it is in the name of God, that's an automatic, eternal damnation.
In the name of what God, though? Not the God of the Bible, certainly not the God of the Old
Testament. In the name of any type of God.
Well, I'm just saying that, look, my argument is that this has been totally corrosive to human development, okay? This fact that we're accepting superstition, leprechaun stories as the guidepost to human conduct, and all it's been used for in its history is to justify bigotry. I mean, even the North American Indians killed each other because they belonged to a different tribe.
I'm part North American Indian.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying that the bloodbath from this myopic, narrow-minded, silly way of thinking has been extensive. So I'm just saying it's of no utility to the human race to indulge in stories about who's better, Goldilocks or Red Riding Hood.
Well, in response to the beginning of your statement, if I can just respectfully point something out, humanity has progressed through a lot of adversity without all of the technological advances we've made as of recently. And during that period, they had a lot of superstition and religion. But it's funny how that type of thing is starting to kind of fade out with more people embracing the idea that there isn't a God. But at the same time, we're about to push our planet into complete obliteration through pollution and not respecting our environment. So honestly, it's like we did better longer believing in craziness than we did believing in whatever.
Yeah, you did better if you weren't a homosexual or a witch or any other non-European for a 200-year period. Being anything non-European basically got you slaughtered. So, I mean, to say that you did better because of religion, I'm just saying I'm just not going to buy this argument that there's any good side. There's no good side. It's just a stupid...
Humanitarianism is an aspect of the Christian religion. Is that not a good thing?
I'm saying the golden rule is a good thing. It's a nice little piece of logic. Okay, so take the logic out of the and just get rid of all these stupid mandates. You don't need 10 commandments if you have the golden rule.
Don't
do
hurt
unto
people.
others as you'd have others do unto you.
Yeah.
Not complicated. I mean, it should be like written in the Constitution. It's like a piece of logic.
Yeah, it's logic. That is not religion.
Well,
that
honestly, in regards to logic, what's my incentive for treating you how I like to be treated? What's my
Because Jesus told you so. I'm just telling you. I'm a better Christian than you. It's in the Bible, buddy.
Okay.
It's what Jesus believed in.
But Jesus also said that obedience without a heart of love is useless. If you don't obey me,
His whole point was a love of the Word, and the Word is do unto others as you'd have others do unto you. His whole point was you have to love the idea, okay? The very idea of it.
Yeah, love the ideas. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
We need a better Christian. He's not a good enough Christian for me to argue with. He doesn't know. He hasn't read enough of the
Share your
Bible.
interpretation in counter to my argument. You didn't actually adequately, destroy my disposition in that particular area. You didn't do it. I mean, you could declare that you won, and I think your reputation is strong enough for that to, be completely agreed upon.
It's not my ambition to win. I'm just saying that there's no point in arguing the Bible if we both haven't the same references of the Bible. I've read the Bible many times.
Have you prayed before you read the Bible?
I don't waste my time doing silly
Well,
rituals.
then you haven't read the Bible.
Hey, whoa.
That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my entire life. You mean to tell me I can't be a basketball player until I pray to go out on the court and play basketball with these shitty people that want to crush me?
Do you understand the rules of how to participate in the game of basketball?
Yeah, but do you understand the rules of how to participate in religion? You don't need to pray before you read something.
To participate in religion?
Hey, you guys, technically he's brainwashing himself because, he's putting his mind in a set state where he is going to absorb all the information that he's about to read. He's hyper-focusing his mind. And so you see what I'm saying? So of course he's going to read it.
So you're saying it's a form of self-hypnotism?
Yeah, he's hypnotizing himself.
It's something crazy.
Because we know what Jesus said about prayer. And
you guys said it's crazy, right?
Jesus said you were supposed to do that in a closet. So, I mean, Jesus wasn't big on any kind of prayer as ritual. Prayer was something you do for your own psychology.
Why didn't you guys ask me why I felt that way?
Well, hold on a second, dude.
You guys all reacted and said it was crazy, and I can understand
praying
the reaction, but you didn't ask me why I thought that way.
But praying before you read the Bible doesn't insinuate anything.
It doesn't mean that you haven't read the Bible.
You don't believe in the Bible.
No, that's not what he's saying. He's not saying whether you believe in it or not, but praying before you read the Bible doesn't make you a better reader.
To understand the contents and to be able to reference them isn't dependent on praying.
But what did you tell this guy? You said if you didn't pray before...
I can't understand Christianity unless I pray before I read the book of Christianity, and I think that is a nonsensical thing to say to me.
I agree.
Yeah, I think so.
At the same time, you never asked why I said that. All you did was just...
You really want to say it, so just tell us then.
Yeah, just tell us.
Just say, yeah.
Not everyone is going to hold your hand, sorry.
Presume I'm an atheist and I'm not going to understand anything about praying, okay? So yes, if praying...
Whoa.
You'll have to explain.
How is praying such a concept that escapes the comprehension of atheists? Why is that such a...
Do you talk to God?
Oh.
I'm asking the Christian guy. Do you talk to God?
Oh boy.
Do you talk to God? I'm asking you a question. It's a simple question. Yes or no?
Yeah, I do.
You talk to God. So how come every other human being can't talk to God the same way that you do? Is it because they don't believe the same way you do? They don't pray the same way you do? And then furthermore, what about the 1 billion Asian people over in Asia? How are we going to convert them to believe what you believe?
Why are we worried about everybody but me?
I'm not worried about everyone but you. You're worried about everyone but you.
I'm a Christian for myself. I say so.
Let's not waste too much time. He's a Christian nihilist, which is almost, ludicrous, right? That's
weird.
A Christian nihilist?
Chris times the speed of light squared, the Christian nihilist. Okay, he's a convenientist. Okay, what's in it for meist? Okay, that's what he is. If God can be of utility to him, then he'll use God.
You asked me to step out of my realm of belief to answer.
fried horse shit could be of use to him, he'll go with fried horse shit. Okay, he doesn't care what it is.
Hold on a sec, though.
Jesus Christ.
I'll give you
Would do.
right.
Okay, and ironically, as a North American Indian, he's going to embrace the religion that slaughtered his people, which is even more ironic.
There he is right. He's right about the whole thing with doing things at my convenience. That is a personal problem that I have. He pointed it out, and I feel morally obligated to give him his ups on that. That is an accurate read and an understanding based off of the conversation. So good for you. But at the same time, me being aware of that flaw in my character, I feel that my faith is just helping me work through that in a positive manner.
So how do you feel about slavery?
How do I feel about slavery?
Yeah, do you think it's okay because God felt it's okay in the Bible? Do you think it's okay that slavery existed another 100 years because of bullshit Southerners saying it's all right for? See, right here in this Bible here, it says I could own some niggers. It's perfectly okay. God said so. Jesus said so. It's in the Book of Life.
You have an awesome Southern accent thing.
Well, yeah,
It's very entertaining.
I don't know if it's fruitful. I don't know if it's fruitful. Like, I mean, but I don't know if it's really there's much point in interrogating.
The question?
Yes, you can. Just let me finish my little statement on it. I just don't see much point in interrogating him on individual Christian beliefs because I don't think
Okay, guys.
saying
I
he
agree.
endorses any of that stuff. He is selected in his perception of what Christianity is. He has his own religion, essentially.
So in other words, it won't matter what I ask him. It just
No, that's not
Yeah,
true. May I answer the question, please?
Hey guys, Anthony, you're welcome to. After you're done, I want to move on to a new idea. Instead of talking about religion in this way, let's talk about hope versus faith. We can talk about the ideas of those two words and what they mean, and then we can talk about the value of them comparatively. Do you guys want to do
I
it?
completely agree to that. Let me just answer his question quickly. In regards
Sure,
to
go ahead.
slavery, you have to really understand the distinguishing cultures that were being spoken to at that passage in the Bible. And here's my understanding of it. And of course, we can argue semantics as far as what is proof and what isn't proof. We can do that, but let me just share what I believe, and that's kind of it. That's all. I mean, everything is all beliefs, right? Let me just share what I believe in regards to slavery. Now, slavery back in the day was basically, I conquered your land, and my arms are tired from killing all of you, so for the people who are left, I need you to do exactly what I say, and then pay tithes to us and give us a cut of everything you do, and if you don't, we'll kill you, and if you don't want to work, we'll kill you. Basically, you're still in your own homeland, but they run you and they take your resources and send it back to their group. That was kind of like being a slave.
All right, you guys. I think it's time to move on. So I just wanted to show part of that episode of Logic Church. This was my most viewed stream. This was over 1,000 views for this stream. There was a lot of excitement. There was a lot of stuff going on, and I just want to thank Anthony for coming in and discussing this issue with us. I am a fan of Inmendham, though he can be a bit difficult to deal with at times because he's very expressive. He can get a little angry. Sometimes, don't we all? But I'd like to move on to a more recent episode. This was one of the last Logic Churches, or the very last, actually. So let's just get into that. I'm going to move on over to that, and we will begin. Thank you, everybody, for joining us again. This was just a little present for me. Some of the older stuff we did, and trying out my software and getting used to all this stuff for the new Logic Church Season 2. Super excited to get this going. Let's get on our way. This bias stuff?
Sure.
Let's do it.
We can start on it.
All right. Let's try that bandwagon one again. So yeah, I mean, there's a serious tendency for people to just believe something because everybody else is believing it. I mean, you can see this in religion. You can see this in groups and that have cultural effects, such as like feminism, or I mean, even atheism to an extent. What do you guys think about this?
I think it's true that if the more people believe it, the more likely you're going to go, well, all these people believe it, so they can't be wrong.
Well,
Right,
yeah. There's also the fact that I hear myself. It's echoing. Do something about it. That's awful.
Oh.
Anyway, like I was saying, I mean, also if more people believe in something, well, these ideas get more exposure. So most likely you will, look into them and just, make your mind about them more easily. Than if it's niche.
I think it's got to do with people like looking for an identity. They want to, latch onto something and be part of something, so they start, thinking the same way as the people that accept them.
Right.
Wait, is it still about having sex?
Nobody wants to be the green monkey. Okay. Nobody wants to be the green monkey. If you're different, you are subject to attack. So
yep, I have to agree.
People go along with the majority.
Right. Well, and if you believe something that everybody else believes, I think there's also this tendency to think, well, if all these people are doing it, it must be true, right?
Yeah.
You often, right. You often hear, if everybody was walking off the cliff, would you walk off the cliff too? And I guess a lot of people might actually do that.
Yeah, but where's that come from?
I don't fucking know.
Maybe I made it up.
I think it's a Hans Christian Andersen story.
No, that's the fucking trick. I mean, ideology, religious belief, groupthink, however you want to describe it. It ultimately stems from somebody who is lost and looking for answers. Anybody seen fucking Oh Brother, We're Out There? Well, everybody's out here looking for answers. Yeah, everybody is looking for answers. And when something comes along and says, I have answers, what are your answers? Oh, well, the patriarchy is to blame for everything. White male supremacy is to blame for everything, etc., etc.
It can also work in like capitalism when you're trying to sell a product. If the majority of people think like, oh, this company can be trusted, their product is reasonable, then people will buy it. So there's
it's the same. Yeah, it's the same question. Are you going to go for the Members Mark fucking paper towels, or are you going to go for Brawny because Brawny knows how to handle tough stains? You're
right,
gonna go
but in reality, they're basically the same, probably, made in the same factory.
Think people bandwagon off a cult of personality. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be like even like a majority of people believe it. Like, often people will bandwagon to an ideology behind an individual, or behind like a strong group. So, like, and I'll use Devin Tracy as an example. Like, this is a guy, like, who, I know, fuck him. But, anyway. No. This is a great example. This is the best example. He's not a majority opinion. He holds many opinions that are counter. But he has some of the, like, he has a very strong following. Because oh my god, he gave up! He left!
Oh, I decided to finally eject him. He wasn't helping the conversation, and I think it was making people upset.
Oh my god.
He's welcome on any time when he's not drunk.
Oh, I thought he left. Okay, point being, all I was going to say is that it's not always about bandwagoning, it's also about people being able to find leaders. And, like, that's, I think that often happens more than just people joining the majority. Because